Here's a question for you. Have you ever heard hashtag COVID washing? Ever heard of that? Well, I'm not talking about washing your hands. It's actually a term that refers to advertising during the global pandemic. I spoke with Giselle Ugarte tonight. She is with a marketing director with Media Bridge Advertising, and she had some good insight into what's going on in the industry. Okay, Giselle, I have a lot to learn. First of all, there's a new term, COVID washing.
Yeah, this one, it's a little weird, but basically what it means is simply when there are brands or businesses who, unfortunately, either they are completely oblivious to what is happening in the world, or they're unfortunately using this pandemic to their advantage and trying to monetize on it or trying to gain trust when perhaps they are doing nothing at all to help the world make it a better place, or they might be doing exactly the opposite behind closed doors.
Okay, well, something else I want to ask you about too is I know states are handling COVID differently. What about national advertisers? How do they get their message out amidst all these inconsistencies between states?
Yeah, so that is definitely when a lot of marketers and advertisers can get in a lot of trouble because they perhaps might do one general national buy. And luckily, this is something that we at Media Bridge have not been hit with because every single buy that we make, we handpick it, whether it is online or working with influencers. Every single radio buy, we make sure that we know exactly what message is being put out in which city. And that is not something that we're just doing right now because of COVID. We do that all year round, especially with Minneapolis, who, for example, we have really unique weather situations. And so it would be a little weird if all of a sudden we're talking about shoveling your driveway and have an ad going out in Texas. That would be strange. And also localizing any sort of advertising always makes it that much more personal and adds that connection that so often a lot of businesses and brands and marketers miss simply because they want to make it easy and automated by making a buy all at once.
And something else I've seen here, like you said, there's a lot of ads that mention COVID. How do you sort of hit that balance between empathy and authenticity?
Well, at this point, I think at first when all of this is happening and we were all experiencing the shock and the anxiety that came with having this brand new lifestyle of wearing masks and quite frankly, not being able to leave your house for the most part. But now, even using the words new normal, we're sick of hearing that because let's be real, this is normal now and for the foreseeable future. And so when someone is using it to pull out way too much emotion or try to highlight beyond the means of what they actually do as a business, then that's not helping anybody. And quite frankly, people are tired of it. They want to be able to get back to or introduce a brand new functioning lifestyle. And that's why, again, even going back to localizing every single message that you're putting out there, making sure that you're being true to your actual business. For example, Snap Fitness, one of our clients, for a long time, they had to totally pivot and talk about their on-demand fitness and their video fitness. And now, slowly but surely, their gyms are opening up. It would be completely wrong of them to all of a sudden start playing commercials, business as usual, with people touching and sweating on each other and breathing on each other. And so we want to make sure that what we are showing in our messaging and what we are playing in our messaging is true to what is going on right now, which can also mean that we have to pivot at a moment's notice. And luckily, that's something that we have always done long before this, but our CEO, Tracy Call, put out what she calls the COVID pledge, which is right now, if you are a marketer, if you're an advertiser, there is no reason why you should be upcharging or overselling for every single modification and change, because quite frankly, this is simply what we're going to be seeing moving forward. And we need to be able to show up for our clients and be the support that they need beyond just a marketer.
And I can only imagine how much your business has changed. Our business has changed. In fact, I would typically be interviewing you in person, not on Zoom. But tell me about the world of advertising. I mean, what have you seen in the past few months? It's been turned upside down.
Yeah, it really has. And that's on the traditional sense and also the digital sense. But luckily, this was something that we prepared for without even realizing. Again, making sure that we're handpicking and localizing every single buy, making sure that we're constantly in communication with every single one of our partners, but certainly making our partners know of all of the different options that they have, whether that is turning something on, pivoting the messaging, turning something off, or perhaps going into more targeted targeted options like over the top advertising. That's what we see in streaming devices, for example. People are certainly spending a lot more time at home and behind their computers, and also digital advertising as well.
What is the biggest mistake you think that advertisers could make in this moment of this pandemic?
There are a lot of mistakes. I think the biggest one is saying and doing absolutely nothing. And that's amidst the world pandemic that we are experiencing with COVID, but also the pandemic of injustice that we're experiencing as well. And so to that, we say just because your world is flipping upside down right now does not mean that you need to hide away from your customers. If anything, this is the time to connect with them, even if you don't know what to say, admitting that you're not sure what to say, but that you are committed to doing better. And also understanding that, yes, I am the director of marketing at an advertising agency. However, just because you don't necessarily have a marketing budget or bajillion dollars, that doesn't mean that you can't play either. There are so many different options that you can use to market yourself, to market your business that cost little to nothing at all. Email marketing, social media, word of mouth, picking up the phone, getting behind a Zoom call and having that face-to-face experience. Because let's be real, I think one thing that we're noticing more than ever is that people have been craving human connection long before social distancing was a thing. And so right now, you as a business, you have the opportunity to close the gap between consumer and business and remind people that you are a business, that you are working so hard to keep going and that you actually care. There is no better marketing strategy than to care, and that costs you $0.